Okay, so we're gonna really dive into this whole idea of global wealth,
Yeah,
in 2025, where who are the big players?
absolutely.
The economic powerhouses, and it's not just about who has the most money, right? It's
Yeah, right.
what are the engines behind that wealth? What's driving it?
Exactly. And I think what's so fascinating is that it's not a homogenous picture, right? Like
Yeah.
when we look at the top 15 richest countries, it's not like they all got there the same way.
Yeah, and you've put together this amazing breakdown for this deep dive
Yes.
of the 15 richest countries and the key city in each of those countries that's really driving the economy.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through each one and kind of understand is it natural resources? Is it
Exactly.
technology? Is it finance?
Yeah.
What are the things that are making these places so wealthy?
Yeah, and I think as we go through it, you'll see that it's often a combination of factors. And,
Right.
it's not just one thing. It's like a synergy of different elements
Right.
that really contribute to their success.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in at number 15. We have South Korea with Seoul as kind of the economic heart
Yeah.
of the country. And when you think of Seoul, what's the first thing that comes to mind in terms of what's driving its wealth?
Technology, without a doubt.
Okay.
Seoul is a major global tech hub. And,
Right.
just think about the companies that are headquartered there. Samsung, LG, Hyundai.
Huge companies.
These are global players. These are companies that are shaping entire industries. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about South Korea is that they have had a very proactive and strategic approach to investing in research and development and building this incredibly advanced digital infrastructure.
Right.
And that has created an environment where these tech giants have been able to flourish and really innovate on a global scale.
Yeah. It's not just having the companies, it's having the whole ecosystem to support it.
Exactly.
And the fact that they have such widespread 5G already just shows how committed they are to being digital advanced.
Absolutely.
How does that actually translate into broader economic strength though?
Well, I think, when we think about that advanced digital infrastructure, it's not just about consumers having faster downloads.
Yes.
It's about businesses being able to operate more efficiently.
Okay.
It's about enabling new technologies and services.
Right.
It's about positioning South Korea as an early adopter in things like artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things.
Interesting.
And, if we even look at something like K-pop, which is this global phenomenon,
That's huge.
it's not just entertainment, it's a major cultural export. And that contributes to South Korea's brand and its economic activity.
Yeah. It's a cultural powerhouse with actual economic muscle.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating. Okay, so moving up to number 14, we have Canada, and the city we're focusing on there is Toronto. What's the story of Toronto's wealth?
Toronto is really Canada's financial heart.
Okay.
It has this very strong concentration of global financial institutions. And while Canada does have a strong foundation in natural resources like oil and timber, Toronto's growth is really being fueled by things like its booming real estate sector, its expanding tech industry, and its role as this major financial hub.
So it's leveraging those traditional strengths, but also building in these new high growth areas.
Exactly.
I've also heard a lot about Toronto having a really high quality of life.
Yeah.
How much does that actually play into its economic success?
I think it's huge.
Okay.
Toronto's high quality of life combined with its cultural diversity makes it a very attractive place for both businesses and skilled workers.
Right.
Businesses want to be there because it's a stable and appealing environment.
Yeah.
And people want to live there because they have a good standard of living. And so that creates this positive feedback loop where talent attracts businesses, businesses create jobs and prosperity, and that further enhances the quality of life.
It builds on itself, yeah.
Exactly.
That's great. Okay, number 13, we're going to Sweden, and specifically Stockholm. What makes Stockholm an economic player?
Well, Stockholm is really interesting because it's emerging as a leader in sustainable technologies and green innovation.
Okay.
So its economic strength is increasingly being driven by these cutting-edge sectors, things like clean energy solutions, advanced telecommunications, highly specialized manufacturing.
Yeah, sustainable tech is definitely a growing global priority.
Absolutely.
Are there any specific Swedish companies that are kind of leading the charge in that area?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have companies like Spotify, which is, a global brand in the digital technology space. Ericsson, which is a leader in telecommunications infrastructure, and even Volvo, which is making big strides in the electric vehicle market.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought of Volvo as like a green tech leader.
Yeah, they're really transforming themselves.
That's cool.
And I think what's fascinating about Sweden is that there's this really strong societal emphasis on sustainability.
Okay.
And that translates into government policies, investments in research and public support for these environmentally focused industries.
So it's like a whole national commitment to a greener future.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And like Toronto, Stockholm also has a very high standard of living and, great public services, all built on a foundation of education and innovation.
Absolutely.
So it's not just an ethical choice. It's actually driving economic advantage.
Hey, it's a smart economic strategy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, number 12, we have Germany, Europe's largest economy, and the city we're focusing on there is Berlin. Now, Germany is historically known for its industrial strength, right?
Exactly. Germany has this incredibly powerful industrial base, particularly in automotive manufacturing, precision engineering, and traditional technology sectors.
Right.
But what's really fascinating about Berlin is that it's rapidly transforming itself into a global tech hub.
Oh, wow.
People are starting to compare it to Silicon Valley in terms of its startup ecosystem and its entrepreneurial spirit.
So Berlin is the new Silicon Valley. That's a big shift.
It is a big shift.
What kinds of startups are we seeing come out of Berlin?
Well, you have companies like Zalando, which is a major player in e-commerce, N26, which is a digital bank, and HelloFresh, which is, the meal kit delivery service.
Yeah.
These are all significant companies that were born in Berlin and are still headquartered there.
Wow.
So Germany is really doing this interesting thing where it's maintaining its traditional industrial strength while also embracing the digital age.
That's a really powerful combination.
It is.
All right, let's move on to number 11. We have Japan, another long-standing economic powerhouse, and its capital, Tokyo. What keeps Tokyo at the top?
Well, Japan, with Tokyo at its heart, remains a dominant force in advanced technology, particularly in areas like precision automotive manufacturing and robotics.
Okay.
Tokyo is also a major global financial center.
Right, the Tokyo Stock Exchange.
Exactly. One of the largest and most influential in the world, and you have iconic companies like Sony and Toyota that are headquartered there and are constantly pushing the boundaries of technological advancement.
Yeah, those are some big names in tech.
There.
We often hear about Japan facing these demographic challenges with an aging population and a declining birth rate. How does that impact Tokyo's economic outlook?
Well, it's definitely a concern, and it creates economic headwinds.
Yeah.
But Japan is very focused on research development and education as ways to mitigate these challenges.
Okay.
They're investing heavily in technological innovation and automation, particularly in robotics and artificial intelligence, as strategies to boost productivity and growth, even with a shrinking workforce.
So it's like they're trying to innovate their way out of these demographic hurdles.
Exactly. They're trying to find ways to do more with less.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, at number 10, we have the island nation of Singapore. And, the city of Singapore. It's a city-state, which is pretty unique.
It is.
What makes its economy so strong?
Singapore had really strategically positioned itself as a global financial hub.
Okay.
It has incredibly well-developed infrastructure, a very business-friendly environment, and that attracts a ton of multinational corporations who want to have a base in Asia.
So it's like a gateway to the Asian economy.
Exactly. Its location in Southeast Asia is key to its success, and its economy is built on finance, trade, and high-tech manufacturing.
It sounds like efficiency and strategic positioning are really key to Singapore's wealth.
Absolutely. And because of that, it has a very high GDP per capita, which basically means that the average income and standard of living are very high.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. All right, number 9, we have Australia, with Sydney as its largest city. What's driving Sydney's economic engine?
Sydney is a major global financial center and a really important player in the whole Asia-Pacific region.
Okay.
Its economy is very diverse, with strong sectors in real estate, banking, mining, and tourism.
So it's more than just Australia's natural resources that are fueling Sydney's economy.
Exactly. While natural resources are important for the national economy, Sydney's specific strength is its role as a financial and tech hub.
Okay.
It has a high standard of living, excellent infrastructure, a vibrant cultural scene, and all of that attracts talent and investment.
Yeah, it sounds like a really attractive place to live and work.
It is. And the housing market there has also been a big driver of wealth creation.
Okay, so it's a combination of factors that are making Sydney so successful.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to number 8. We have the Netherlands and its prominent city, Amsterdam. What's Amsterdam's key to economic success?
Amsterdam has this amazingly well-developed infrastructure,
Okay.
a very strong and innovative financial services sector, and a flourishing tech industry.
So it's kind of hitting all the major points.
It is.
And it's a major European trade hub as well, right?
Exactly. Its location is perfect for logistics, and it's home to a lot of multinational corporations, particularly in tech and logistics.
Now, I've always heard about the Netherlands being a very progressive country.
Yeah,
Does that actually contribute to Amsterdam's economic success?
I think it does.
Okay.
You know, Amsterdam's progressive policies, its commitment to sustainability, its culture of innovation, all make it a very attractive place for businesses and individuals who share those values.
So it's attracting a certain type of talent in business.
Exactly. And that helps to drive economic growth.
Interesting. All right, at number 7, we have the United Kingdom and its capital, London. Now, obviously, there have been some big global shifts recently, including Brexit.
Right.
How has that impacted London's standing as a wealthy city?
Well, despite the challenges of Brexit, London has shown incredible resilience.
Okay.
It's maintained its position as a global financial and cultural powerhouse.
So it's still a major player.
It is. It's still home to the London Stock Exchange, which is, a crucial institution in global finance.
Right.
And its economy is very diverse with strengths in finance tech and its world-renowned creative industries.
Yeah, London is definitely known for its creative energy.
It is, and that's a big part of its economic success.
So it hasn't lost its appeal for investors and businesses.
Not at all. London continues to attract a lot of global investment entrepreneurs and talented people from all over the world.
And I imagine its infrastructure and global connections are a big part of that.
Absolutely. Those are major assets that have helped it to weather these recent storms.
That's impressive. All right, at number 6, we have Luxembourg and its capital, Luxembourg City. Now, for such a small country, it consistently ranks very high in terms of wealth.
Yeah.
What's the main driver of that?
Well, Luxembourg's wealth is really concentrated in its financial sector, particularly in investment funds and private banking. It's really positioned itself as a key global financial center.
So it's like a specialized hub for finance?
Exactly. And its low tax rates and business-friendly environment are very attractive to multinational corporations.
Right, so they're bringing in a lot of foreign investment.
They are, and that's what drives its high GDP per capita and its overall wealth.
Interesting. Okay, so it's a very focused and strategic approach to wealth creation.
It is.
Moving on to number 5, we have Switzerland and its wealthiest city, Zurich. What makes Zurich such a prosperous place?
Zurich is known for its incredibly strong and stable banking sector,
Okay.
similar to Luxembourg, but it also has a significant high-quality manufacturing base, particularly in pharmaceuticals and precision instruments.
So it's not just finance.
No, it's not just finance. It's also a leader in advanced technology.
And Switzerland is famous for its high quality of life.
Yes.
How does that factor into Zurich's economic standing?
Well, it's a big factor. Zurich offers an amazing standard of living, exceptional healthcare, a very efficient public transportation system.
Sounds like a great place to live.
It is. And its strong economic fundamentals combined with its reputation as a stable and reliable financial center make it very attractive for businesses and investors.
So stability and financial prowess are really the keys to Zurich's success.
I think so.
All right, number 4, we have Norway and its capital, Oslo. Now, Norway is, of course, known for its oil wealth.
Right.
But is that the whole story of Oslo's economy?
Oslo definitely benefits from Norway's oil and natural gas reserves. But what's really interesting is that Norway is very proactive about managing and investing that wealth.
Okay.
They're putting a lot of money into renewable energy technologies and other sustainable industries.
So they're thinking long-term.
They are. They're planning for a future beyond fossil fuels.
That's very forward-thinking. What about the quality of life in Oslo?
Norway and Oslo consistently rank among the highest in the world for standard of living.
Okay.
They have incredible healthcare, comprehensive education, and a strong social welfare system that ensures a broad distribution of wealth.
So it's not just about having the resources, it's about using them responsibly.
Exactly. And they're really showing the world how to balance resource wealth with a commitment to sustainability.
That's a great example for other countries to follow.
All right. At number 3, we have Ireland and its capital, Dublin. Dublin has seen some really impressive economic growth lately, hasn't it?
It has. Dublin has become a major hotspot for global technology companies.
Huh?
You see companies like Google, Facebook, Apple, all with big operations there.
Yeah, those are some of the biggest tech companies in the world.
They are, and they've chosen Dublin as a key base for their European and international operations.
What's been the main draw for these companies?
A key driver has been Ireland's low corporate tax rate.
Which makes it very attractive for multinational corporations to set up their European headquarters there.
So it's a strategic tax policy that's brought in a lot of investment.
It has. And that, combined with a skilled workforce and a business-friendly government, has really fueled Dublin's economic growth.
It's amazing how much of an impact tax policy can have.
It's huge.
All right, almost to the top. At number 2, we have the United States and its financial capital, New York City.
Yeah.
It's such a global icon, but what specifically makes it such an economic powerhouse?
New York City is the world's financial capital.
Right home to the New York Stock Exchange.
Exactly, and it has this incredible concentration of global financial institutions.
So finance is a big part of it.
It is, but its economic strength is really multifaceted.
Okay.
Beyond finance, it's a global hub for technology, innovation, fashion, media, entertainment, real estate.
It really does feel like all the major industries converge in New York.
They do, and its total economic output, its GDP, is actually larger than many countries.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is the sheer density of business activity, the cultural influence, the constant innovation. It creates so many opportunities for wealth creation.
So it's a powerhouse across the whole range of sectors.
Absolutely.
Right, finally at number 1, we have Qatar and its capital Doha. Now, their wealth story is pretty different from the others we've talked about.
It is. Qatar's wealth is overwhelmingly driven by its vast oil and natural gas reserves.
Right, they have huge reserves of those resources.
They do, and those resources have generated enormous wealth for the country.
And we see that reflected in the development of Doha itself.
Absolutely. Doha has this incredibly modern and luxurious infrastructure with world-class hotels, massive shopping malls, state-of-the-art facilities.
So they've really invested that wealth in their city.
They have. And what's notable is that they're also investing a lot in education, healthcare, and sustainable development projects.
So they're not just relying on oil and gas forever.
Exactly. They're trying to build a more diversified and sustainable future.
That's smart. It's been so fascinating to see all the different paths these countries and cities have taken to achieve such high levels of economic prosperity.
It really has. You know, we've seen how natural resources are the foundation for some, while technology and finance are dominant for others.
Right.
And we've also seen how sustainability and strategic policy decisions are becoming increasingly important.
Absolutely. And even things like a high quality of life can be a major economic driver.
Exactly.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. It's given us a much clearer understanding of the global economy and all the complex forces that shape it.
I agree. And I think it leaves us with a really interesting question to ponder.
Okay, what's that?
As we think about all these different economic models we've explored, you know, the focus on technology, the management of natural resources, the power of finance, the drive for innovation, the commitment to sustainability. Which of these do you think will be the most critical in shaping the future of the global economy? And why?
That's a great question. It's not an easy answer either.
It's not. It's something to really think about. And I think it's also important to consider how these different factors will become even more interconnected in the years to come.
Right. It's not just about one thing. It's about the interplay between all of them.
Exactly. And that interplay is what's going to define future economic success on a global scale.
It's a complex and fascinating landscape.
It is.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation. Thanks for sharing your insights.
My pleasure.
I think our listeners are going to have a lot to think about after this.
I hope so.
Until next time.
See you.